Welcome back, everyone. My name is Anne Rainton, and this is Who's That Image Consultant. And today we're traveling all the way to Dallas in the USA to speak to Tara Hooper.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Welcome to the Big D, Dallas, Texas.
I haven't been to Dallas. I hope I get there sometime. I'm really excited to be speaking to you today. You know, I absolutely love the fact that we have so many consultants that are all around the world, and everybody's got a unique story. And I think for anyone who's thinking about maybe getting into this career, or someone who's already in the career and maybe having some challenges, talking to different image consultants and stylists about their careers and all, it helps to uncover that it's not always easy and challenges do occur and we get over them and we move on. So talking to various people about their careers really makes an interesting story. And of course, we all have a unique story. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your circumstances. You're married.
Yeah, so I'll be celebrating 13 years of marriage this month. I have two kids, a boy named Trevin who's 10, a daughter Nairi who is 7, and actually named after an Australian actress named Nairi Porter.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a unique name out here. I've only been in Dallas for 5 years. I'm originally born and raised in San Diego, California, then moved to Alabama, and then now I'm here in Dallas. So I relaunched my second career. I was originally a hairdresser and salon owner in California. It was my second career, and I launched it here in Dallas. I launched the Style Signature.
Oh, well, now what made you go from hairdressing to image?
My body hurt. When I moved to Alabama, I was staying home with my kids for a little bit and decided I wanted to go back to school, but I didn't want to go back behind the chair for another 25 years because it really is kind of hard on your body. And I don't have a formal degree or an undergraduate degree, so the thought of going to, 4-year university sounded very daunting. And so my husband actually found the image consulting. I went to the London Image Institute, and what I liked about it so much was it had synergy with what I was doing before, which was working with people's image, but just from the neck up.
Right.
So, it was a good fit. And so I attended, and voila.
And had you even thought about image consultancy or styling before that? Had it ever entered your brain?
No, I had heard the term personal stylist, but, living so close to Hollywood, being in San Diego, when you think personal stylist, you think, the red carpet runway and famous people and rich people. And I'm not big into the Hollywood scene or, labels and things like that. So I didn't think that it was a career for me, because I'm not into all that kind of stuff. And after learning about it and developing my business, my niche is really working with what I call real people, or business professionals. And that's where my heart is really working with real people and leveling up their image and building their confidence and making them look and feel, beautiful.
And I believe you do have actually a background with wardrobing in Hollywood. There is a bit of a background there.
Not so much that, but I did compete in pageantry for over 20 years, as well as did some theater acting, but I never was on the side of actually styling anyone. I did do makeup for a few, TV type segments and things like that, but that was about the extent of it.
What do you think your hairdressing background has brought to your image business?
Well, several things. One, running an entrepreneurial or solopreneur type business, right? And learning how to really connect with people, being everyone trusts their hairdresser, right? So, right? You tell them all their secrets. So taking that skill set of running a business, running by appointment, learning how to connect with people and sell yourself, so to speak, and sell your services, that I just took that and translated it into the image industry. But, it wasn't without bumps in the road, because it took a while for me to understand how to change my language, understand how to really explain the value that I was bringing to people. I knew how to do it as a hairdresser because I did it for so long, but as an image consultant, I had to rechange my language. I had to rechange how I explain my value to people, because a lot of times people don't know what an image consultant or a stylist does. They don't get it. and they think it's for rich people and famous people. And so to be able to say, no, I work with corporations and I work with business people, and this is why it's important, that had a learning curve.
And what I find is interesting and must have been a challenge for you is, correct me if I'm wrong, you had your hair salon in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and then you moved to Dallas, taking up a totally new career. So you're not only taking up a new career, you're taking it up in a city where you have no network, no nothing. So nothing. So tell me about that. That's quite a challenge to get over.
It is, and it was probably one of the biggest challenges professionally and personally. I think for a while even I felt a little bit depressed, because I didn't have a network, and I was so used to being, beloved in my salon industry that this is a real shot to the ego. People are like, who are you? But what I did is I really started embracing small businesses and networking in the community. So I started with the Chamber of Commerce. I went through a resource that we have here called Meetup, looking for business networking events. Yeah. I went to an organization called eWomen Network, and that was great. I don't know if they have it overseas. They might only be in the U.S. And so I just really started getting around more and more women business owners to help build my network and build my connections, and hopefully they could introduce me into their network. And that's really how I started, and gained friendships along the way. But I believe without getting out and networking and just showing up, my business wouldn't be where it is today.
Yes. Look, the word networking comes up in everybody who's been successful.
I know.
So let me ask you something I haven't asked anyone else. You go out to networking events. It's not enough simply to meet and greet and say hello and have some chit chat to people. What is your strategy when you go out to networking? Because I think one of the keys to networking is to gain people's trust and get people to know who you are without that sell. That no one wants to talk to someone who's just going to blurt at them what they do in an effort to get some payback. So what do you do when you go networking?
So for me, I try, because I'm very much an extrovert. So I'm one of those people that want to flit around the whole room. So I try and reel that in a little bit, where I become more strategic and only maybe meeting 3 to 5 people there, so that the relationship and the conversation is, one, it's more deep and sincere, and I can genuinely get to know someone a little bit better and see if, one, if they would even be a good fit for a client, but more about the kind of network and opportunity that they may have, not even them as a client. I try not to think about the people in the room as a client, but just who they can introduce me into their network. And to me, that's where the gold is. And also find out from them who they know, they know the community, where can I go to meet the type of people I'm looking for that would be good clients? Right. That's really how I used the networking. Or if I needed resources such as a web designer or SEO person, where can I meet the people that I need services from as well to help grow my business? Yes. Understanding them, having them help me understand the market here and where to find my clients.
People react in general very well to, can you help me? That whole frame. And when it's not framed around who are you and this is what I do and I could help you, it's framed around, could you help me know who I could talk to and all that. I think that's a really nice segue into finding out more about that. And something I also found is that it was looking for ways for me to be able to give value to other people. Now, that's not necessarily in offering image advice, because unsolicited advice is never welcome, but it is more about, I know a great person who does great business cards, or, I use this photographer or whatever. So I'm always looking for a way to think of, well, who do I know that I think are great services? So if I hear someone needing something, because it's more than just what you're getting, it's also what you can provide as value for other people. Yeah. Absolutely. And I believe I spent a lot more time learning about other people. And I think for those of you that are new in networking your business, you're going to find
hate to say, but it's a little bit like bad dating. I spent a lot more time hearing about everybody else's stuff before they were ever polite enough to ask me what I did. And you do have to endure some of that, and you endure it with a smile. I do have kind of a creative business card. And so if there was ever that exchange of business cards, that would usually catch people's attention, and get them, oh, well, what do you do? And I'm thinking, we've been having this conversation for 20 minutes and you're just now asking me about me. But you will have to endure some of that. But sometimes there's a lot of golden nuggets in there. You just make the most of it and see what you can continue to do, grow your business and help them and serve them. And it will serve you. I agree, because my business has completely flourished here by using those techniques.
That's great. And I think too that while you say that you learned a lot more about them than they asked about you, when you walk away from a conversation like that and all you've really done is let them talk about themselves, they often are left with, she was really interesting.
Yeah.
No.
Like, wow, that was such a great conversation.
And I mean, that's what you want. You want to create that rapport.
Yeah.
So next time you go, you meet them and you go that little bit further. Something I also did too is I had some business cards made with on the back. I had two different ones. One, I had them, they were secret pages on my website. So no one knew where they were. And I had a couple of ebooks. So I had a professional ebook, and I had an everyday woman's ebook. And I would just, in talking, if it came up, I would say, look, let me give you my business card. And by the way, because business cards handing out, was a thing, right? Yeah. Everyone does it. Yeah. And by the way, on the back, there's a secret page of my website if you would like to download this free ebook. And that was a way also I found that a bit more exposure to what I did without being too over the top.
Well, and I'll tell you, one of the things I would do, honestly, is I would stand out in the room wearing color.
Ah, yes.
Because here in the U.S., I don't know what it's like there or around the world, but here in the U.S., everybody at business meetings, they wear black.
I know, it's
and so here I am, I'm this crazy pop of color, storming into the room, and they're like, wow, what is she do? Immediately they're going to notice you because of that energy. So don't wear black.
No, I totally agree. And, it's standing out in a good way, because people will go, wow, I love your outfit, or,
I love that.
Yeah, and that's a great way to talk. And certainly when you walk up to a little huddle that may be speaking, they're not going to not see you.
Right, exactly. So it's a brilliant technique.
I couldn't agree more. I don't wear black anyway. It's not a color I particularly like.
Not me neither.
I totally get it. Okay, so you've moved to the new city. You're developing your business. Is there any time in the development of your business that you hit somewhere that you went, wow, and something happened to make your business take off? Was there a particular client or a particular job or a particular interview, or was it just a slow burn for you?
I would say the first couple of years was a slow burn, and I'll be honest with you, there was a time when all of a sudden my business was growing and went, we were like, what happened? And I noticed that I stopped posting on social media. And so I definitely noticed a dive in traffic to my website, because of course I didn't have a budget. I used social media and YouTube and attached it to my website to build SEO and to build visibility. And when I stopped doing that is when I saw a dive in my business, and that's free SEO, content on your website, blogs, and YouTube's a great way to do it very quickly, because YouTube and Google are somewhat married to each other. So I utilize YouTube in that way. But then when I started coming back on track, really the two things for me that have created big shifts are, one is I started utilizing an SEO company. And I know a lot of you go, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. And you're right, it can be quite a financial investment. But I was lucky enough that they actually were interested in my services, the owner. And so we barter. And in this case, I don't normally like to barter, but when it's something that is going to so benefit your business, I'm at his beck and call. Like, whatever he needs, I'll handle it, because he has helped me grow and explode my business. And then that got me an opportunity to be on Good Morning Texas. And so I was asked to do two fashion and style segments on Good Morning Texas, which is mass exposure. So now I've gotten to the point where I don't have to be out networking because I have my digital marketing working for me. So my recommendation is, if you have any budget, invest it in proper SEO, someone that really knows what they're doing. And then as your business grows, invest more. And then you don't have to be out in the field. You can be working on your clients because that digital part is working for you. But utilize YouTube and Facebook and those live videos and attach it to your website. That will help boost free SEO. Also do a Google business page and have people post positive reviews. And make sure they put the term, like let's say, Anne, it was you, Anne Renton, image consultant in X, Y, and Z area, and then go on with your testimonial. So the more that they can use your keywords in the testimonial, that's golden.
Great advice.
And it's free.
Yes. And, you're absolutely right. If you don't keep that exposure of yourself going, either maybe through your SEO or through your Facebook and all the rest, which most people will have to do, you're literally forgotten about within a month or two. It's
in seconds, I think.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
And this is how I use your social posts, because I'm a member of your group, and that's what I use the social posts, because my brain goes dead after. I'm like, well, what do I talk about? I go and look in your thing, I get inspired, and then I put that on my Google page. I put it on my website. Yes. That's all free SEO and content that we have membership to, and that's been really helpful for me to not have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
Yes, and I've actually been saying to a few consultants lately that because I put marketing text in there, or teaching text, I should say, and call to action text and all that, you could quite easily create a little Facebook Live or YouTube on all those subjects. Because really, I just give you the platform to go, here's another topic and here's a little bit to start, and then you take it and own it, and you don't have to think about it, because that's the hard thing. What am I going to write?
Exactly. What am I going to write about?
With almost 800 social posts up there now, I must say every Sunday when I sit down to do it, I go, okay, what now?
I turned one of yours into a full-blown article for a magazine that I write for Prime Women. It's for women over 50, which I'm almost there. I'm 47. So I did an article on florals, how to wear florals at every age. Great. And it was inspired by one of your social posts about wearing floral plant prints. And then I just kind of dug deeper, created an article out of it, and there it went.
Yep. And of course, I've got all the style clinic features that I write, which are a lot more in depth. Okay, that's great. So let's get back to you. And so you're creating your business. At what stage did you start to realize there was a target market you were going after? Did it just evolve, or did at some stage you go, no, who am I actually after? And then you started moving that way?
Yes. When I first started, I said yes to everybody.
As we do.
Yeah, as we do, because you need cash flow, and I get that. And Dallas is a very affluent area, a lot of money. And so I had worked with a couple of socialites, and I've worked with business people, and I really started to see that I liked working with business professionals. I didn't like being treated like a member of staff, where it was like, oh, just go find me the latest, here's $4,000, go find me the latest and greatest. I really enjoy the process of teaching the clients the why behind all the choices, and really empowering them to shop, really empowering them to choose the best items, because to me, that's where the confidence is built. And so I really call myself a confidence coach as well. And you can't do that when you just go and buy it for people. It's the teaching and them understanding the why behind it that really builds the self-confidence in choosing, what their appearance needs to look like. And so then I just started saying no to some things, and I really went after the corporate and business professional people. And so that's the lane I've stayed. And then I've started doing now more corporate work and corporate trainings as well.
How did you, in doing those corporate presentations, how did you get your foot in the door?
Well, now I'm actually getting found. I have such a good ranking on the internet that people are finding me, but some of it's been word of mouth. I'll do complimentary marketing talks to, like, we have a group here called the C-suite support group, where it's a group of fractional, C-suite individuals, and they meet up once a month. And so I was their guest speaker, and I did that complimentary, and then they referred me and so on. One of them was, honestly, it was just being me. That's how I got in with Toyota, who moved here. And I met, and again, it goes back to networking. I went to a forum that they invited the community to, and when I had an opportunity to go up and thank the panel, someone had kind of, let me back up. So what happened was they had said, please don't LinkedIn request us to try and get into Toyota, essentially is what they said. And of course, immediately when they went to Q&A, a guy says, can I LinkedIn request you, right? And kind of made a fool of himself. So when I got up to thank the gentleman on the panel, I made a joke about it.
Right.
And he cracked up and he said, what do you do? And of course, that was my segue to share what I did. I gave him my card, and 2 days later, he LinkedIn's me and says, okay, you need to go talk to these people. And that's how I got in. So it's really listening to your audience and approaching them, like you said, without that sales. So I got very lucky with that one. And getting in with female groups like Women in Financial Services, and speaking at conferences where your people are going to be at, that's what's helped me get into their company. And so, you're going to have to look for that. You're going to have to look for organizations that have those women or men in a group, and you can get their attention by doing a marketing talk or something.
So you've got this blossoming career, or really great career. How do you manage your family and being a wife and mother in your career?
Oh, that's the question. It's hard. It's hard. We're actually contemplating getting like a nanny or something, which kind of makes me cringe because my business is now kind of really skyrocketing this year. But I am lucky. I live in a town where my in-laws live. So I have grandma and grandpa help and aunt and uncle help. So that takes the big stress off. And sometimes I have to say no. Honestly, sometimes I have to say no. It's my kids' baseball game or whatever going on, and I have to turn down business. So that it stings sometimes, but I don't want to work 40, 50 hours a week. I don't want to, and I'm lucky I don't have to. So I have the luxury of I can say no to that project. And then I've elevated my rate. It's like now I'm at the point where if you want to work with me, you're going to pay a bit more of a premium than when I started 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
And so, now I can do one client instead of 4 or 5. And you've got to have it up here to do that. You got to build that confidence in here.
And that comes with the more you do, right? There are people that you turn away and say, I'm sorry, I just can't fit you in, right? Right. I'm sure you don't say because I'm going to my son's football team.
No.
The fact that I can't fit you in, that puts that value of scarcity on you. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes I think that they want you even more. Mm-hmm. Because
and they'll pay
come
more
back with other days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay, I can do it on this day. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So you learn as your business grows to, you get a little more picky, because there's just things you're like, I don't want to do that. And picky with who you'll work with. And you'll expect people to respect your time more and set those boundaries, where before I would kind of let people walk all over me, and that gets exhausting. And then, like you said, as you grow in experience and confidence, then you charge more. Yeah, you do. Say, my time is really valuable. I've invested so much time and energy and education. And, my one tip to all of you is don't undermine the value that you truly bring to people. Like, it's easy for us. We think, oh, this is not, but people are like, mind blown. I have one particular tailoring advice I give someone, and almost every client, and it's like, oh my God, that was worth every penny. I'm like, really? You didn't know that? But they don't.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The things that we've known, we've taken for granted for so long, you've got to realize that they don't know what you know, and none of this stuff is taught at school. right?
No.
And you know, I'm glad it's not, in a way.
No.
So yeah, that's fantastic. So I normally end with, you know, what advice would you give to someone starting out or your earlier self? But is that the advice that you would give?
Yeah, and it took me a really long time. Is really don't underestimate the value that you bring to people. And I think when you're new in the industry, especially if you've transitioned from a different career that you had, you know, when I had my hair career, I dialed in, like I knew that like the back of my hand. So it's very humbling to come into a new business and be the newbie, but don't underestimate the value that you bring to the clients, and don't be afraid to charge for it. It's hard. I get it, because it's like, woo, you gotta say it out loud, but people will pay it. And I didn't believe that, and now I'm charging premium prices and getting it. But it's because I believe what I bring to the table really changes their life.
And it's that solid belief. And I think, you know, we're not just selling it because we want the cash. Obviously, income is important. If you truly believe the value of what you're selling somebody, when you promote yourself, you're coming from a place of truth and authenticity, and that comes across. Of course, all your supporting literature and all the things that you show them have to support that as well. But it's that people feel that genuineness that comes by doing that. Well,
and I do truly love what I do. You're right, because I've had, and I don't know if you've experienced this, where someone's paid you and then they kind of drop off the face of the earth. Every now and again, I've had one or two, and that bothers me. I'm like, no, like, I want to do the work. I want to do the work. You need me.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you, and we've learned a lot. And I hope to get over to Dallas sometime. It's one of the places in the US I haven't been. So
you got it. I'll kind of take you to some barbecue.
Somewhere to drop in. So thank you very much for your time. I know that people listen to some things, and it's been great speaking to you. And so everyone, at the end of another Who's That Image Consultant with Tara, join us next time. And now from Tara and I, we'll say bye for now. Bye.
Bye.